Hi everyone, Eva Thompson here. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about why some people struggle with retroactive jealousy and other people do not. The main reason I want to make this video is because sometimes people that struggle with RJ come to certain conclusions and adopt certain beliefs in order to justify why they are struggling, and that keeps them stuck, especially if it's got to do with biology or society. It just can make us feel like a victim and it can make us feel helpless, and that doesn't help the recovery at all. I also asked you on Instagram what you think, and I'll read out the answers as well because I think it's important. Overall, I don't think there is only one reason of why someone struggles with retroactive jealousy. The symptom is the same, but the root cause is not. So it's good to do your research around RJ, it's good to read stories, it's good to talk to people, but at the end of the day, the reason why you struggle might not be the same as the reason someone else struggles. So you both might feel like your partner's past is a problem, that it bothers you, but the reason could be very different. And this is what I see a lot, just because the symptom is the same doesn't mean the root cause or the reason underlying is the same as well, which is why I only work with people one-on-one. I don't think there is sort of one answer that is going to fix everyone's RJ or that's going to cure everyone's RJ. Of course, it doesn't mean that you can't give resources, and like I make videos and hopefully it does help and it does resonate with some people. But overall, I think it's important to really focus on yourself, hone in on your feelings, on what you've been through, on your personality and everything, in order to really be able to overcome it instead of looking so much on the outside for either opinions or advice, when of course, yes, it's helpful, but it's not going to take it away completely. It really needs to come from a lot of self-awareness and work on your end, whether that's with a coach or with a therapist or whatever. I do think that if you're really struggling, it's important to reach out and ask for help. Now I'm going to read you the answers that I got on Instagram. So I asked, why do you think that some people struggle with RJ and other people don't? Someone said, OCD, upbringing, trauma, and insecurity. Now, I think OCD does play a big part because the root of all OCDs is feeling the need to be in control. And someone else said strong desire to control pain. So we're trying to control something that logically we know we can't control. We can't control the past, we can't change it. So whether you have been diagnosed with OCD or you just have OCD tendencies, RJ a lot of the time does sort of feed that. But of course, you can't make the blanket statement and say, well, everyone that has OCD also will have retroactive jealousy in their relationships, because obviously that's not true either. So it can't just be OCD. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's only one reason. I also made a video a couple of months ago about retroactive jealousy and why does it exist, and I talk about a study in that video. They study, I believe it was Swedish twins, and they're looking for if jealousy is genetic or not, and they found that in part it could be, but mainly what affects it is the way that you were brought up, your childhood, society, and all of the influences that you had as a child growing up. So I think this person is right. OCD, upbringing, trauma, insecurity, big ones for retroactive jealousy. Someone else said they might be overall a more jealous or territorial person. Culture comes into it a lot from what I've seen working with people. They might not have a past themselves. That could also be a reason. But again, it can't be the only reason, because not everyone that hasn't had a past and gets into a relationship experiences RJ. They have underlying issues such as abandonment issues or trauma. That could be something as well. Lower self-worth. And then someone else said attachment style. So typically most people that struggle with RJ are anxiously attached, but I have worked with people in the past that are not anxiously attached at all. So again, it could be something to look at. It's important to take all of these factors into consideration and look at what applies to you. What isn't helpful, I think, is when men, specifically with RJ, will say, oh, it's just biologically, or it's just because high-value women or women shouldn't act this way or shouldn't be this way. It's because of, biology and historically how it's supposed to be. But if that's the case, every man on the planet would have RJ, or every woman on the planet would have RJ. But it's not, and it's just a concept that's sold to us that could potentially be keeping you stuck. Now, of course, it goes without saying that this is not for people that, because I know I'm going to get the comments about well, just leave them, they're not for you, whatever. If you don't want to be with your partner, don't be with your partner. My videos are for people that want to be in the relationship that they're in, but they just experience RJ. So I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. You're free to believe what you want. If you want to be in the relationship and you want to make it work and you want to try, it's important to not feel like a victim, because then you feel helpless, you have no control, and you're not going to get better. You need to take responsibility, build self-awareness, maybe even ask for help, and look at, okay, why do I struggle with this? It's not something that I can't change within me. It's not because I'm a man and my biology is wired this way. Otherwise, every man out there would have RJ. Then you have the power to change it. You have the power. Once you look at what is contributing to the RJ and you look at what you want going forward, you definitely have the power to shift that, to shift the RJ, shift how you feel about your partner's past, and live a happy and fulfilled life with them. Overall, the point of this video is that there is not just one reason of why someone struggles with RJ. Whether that is OCD, past trauma, your childhood, genetics, your personality, it really varies. So it's good, like I said, to do your research, but don't think that just because someone else struggles with RJ, for example, because they've been diagnosed with OCD, that then you have OCD. You could have OCD tendencies, but if no one has diagnosed you with OCD, then that might not be the case. Or just because someone else has childhood trauma and that's why they struggle, doesn't mean that if you've had a good childhood, you might be wondering, well, what is it then? Because my childhood was fine. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone else's root cause or underlying sort of anxieties around RJ and what's causing it is the same for you too. Like I said, do your work, build awareness, take control, and it's good to reach out and ask for help if you need it. So guys, I hope this video helped you. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think. Why do you think people struggle and others don't? Why do you think specifically you might struggle or have struggled in the past? I would be really interested to know, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.